Strolleriest place on earth. That has a nice ring to it. Good morning. It is the third gorgeous rainy day in a row. Kameron just took Kieran for his father-son Friday morning, and I'm just out here admiring the plants that are getting a well-deserved drink. All of my marigolds are sprouting. I am impressed. They said 88% germination rate, and they are delivering. Just can't wait for all the planter beds to be covered in marigolds. We did something crazy this week. We figured, because we saw in the forecast that it was going to be like 3 days of rain, that we would take the kids to Disneyland. Because we thought most of the Californians that we've met really despise the rain. And we love it. Kids love it. We're all just cold weather animals, really. So we thought that, you know, a cold, cloudy, rainy day would be pretty sparse at Disneyland. We couldn't have been more wrong. Yeah, couldn't have been more wrong. It was elbow to elbow, packed like sardines. There were so many people there. And don't get me started on the amount of strollers. Like, I've never seen so many strollers in my life. It was like I was at Stroller Depot. I mean, not that I was planning on vlogging or anything. I really wanted to take the day off just to spend time with my family. But I don't know how anyone could vlog in a place that was that packed. You know, the crazy thing was that I saw a crew member walking by pushing like this big garbage thing. And she was telling another crew member, oh yeah, today's a really slow day. And I was like, what? Every single ride was like a 30 to 60 minute wait, which in toddler and baby years is like 7 hours. I think we got on all of 2 rides and maybe walked through Aurora's castle and walked around a bit as best we could, considering it was, like I said, like we were in a can of sardines. We had even gotten one of those fast pass things so you could select a ride and then it tells you when to go to your line. And come to find out that didn't work on any of the rides that Thora could go on. We had to stand in line for all of those. And it was just a lot, you know. I mean, Kieran and Thora surprisingly did extremely well. I think I've just been lucky with my kids being really easy because there were a lot of dysregulated kiddos and dysregulated parents there, and it was a lot for me and Cam to take in. We're really introverted, really laid back, chill people, and it felt so chaotic, and I don't know. How do you have fun? How do you have fun with people angry everywhere? And there's no time to get on rides, and kids are mad, and the food's not really healthy or good for you, and it just gives you a tummy ache. And I think the part that made it also a bit more difficult for us as parents was because we did decide to stay in a hotel. We thought, oh, it'll be Thora's first overnight trip somewhere and it'll be fun. We'll just wake up and then we'll go into the park. That didn't happen because Thora and Kieran were like, oh my goodness, we're in a new place. Let's wake up at 3 a.m. and make little pterodactyl and velociraptor sounds, and let's go press all the buttons, and let's go see what that light is, and let's look out the window. And by the time they both went back to sleep, it was 6 in the morning, which is when we had planned on getting up and getting ready so we could be there at rope drop so we could actually get on some rides and everything. So we were dead. Ended up sleeping till 8 because it was necessary. And then I think we got in at 9:30, and by then it was already super packed. So what we learned is that since we live so close to Disneyland, if we attempt to do this again, we will probably go a couple weeks into January when most people have spent a lot of money at Christmas and maybe aren't thinking of going on vacation to Disneyland, and then just staying home, not attempting to go to a brand new environment the night before, letting the kids sleep in their own beds, and then just packing them up early in the morning and getting there in time for rope drop. I mean, I've always had a lot of difficulty with crowds. I have had full-blown panic attacks that I thought were heart attacks in the subway in the UK. Even the Santa Monica Pier in the summertime, I would have a lot of difficulty with navigating the crowds without getting really anxious. I do a lot better now that I'm, almost 40, but it was still a challenge for me to look through the massive crowd and the massive stroller depot to see the actual attractions. It was hard for me to notice the attractions when there was so much going on right around me and like a difficulty navigating through the park in general. So if you are neurodivergent and get sensory overload easy and maybe you have generalized anxiety, probably not Disneyland. Probably not. I feel like things must have changed though, because I did go on my 21st birthday 17 years ago at the end of March, which for all intents and purposes is like a really, really busy time at Disneyland, right? I didn't experience crowds like that. I was able to get on rides within 10 minutes and go on them multiple times. I don't remember there being strollers everywhere, You would think for that price point that they would kind of limit the amount of people that can come in, but I was reading that they have a maximum capacity of like 90,000 guests at any one given time. I mean, all that being said, I still love amusement park. Kameron and I went to Six Flags for one of his birthdays, I think like 5 or 6 years ago. It was so fun. I've been to Knott's Berry Farm several times. I've been to, is there another one that I've been to around here? My point is, they've always been so much fun. Crowds have never been like what I experienced at Disneyland. That was on a whole other level. I love amusement parks. I love going on rides. Roller coasters, yeah, I love them. Crowds, no. Trust me, I know there's gonna be a lot of people in the comments right now being like, you freaking... Because trust me, I'm not trying to poop all over the strolleriest place on earth. Strolleriest place on earth. That has a nice ring to it. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Because I firmly believe that Disneyland would be extremely magical and wonderful if we didn't have 90,000 guests all at once. Anyway, that concludes my review of Disneyland that no one asked for.